Let's look at some of the Ubuntu or Linux commands. Let's begin. Here I am in the terminal and we'll start with the very basic command, which is ls. ls stands for list. It lists down all the files and directories in the current folder. So if you can see, there is no file or folder in the current one, and that is why it doesn't show anything. Now we are going to look at ls hyphen la. Okay, this one gives you all the information of all the files and folder which are also hidden. So any file or folder with dot in front of it will be hidden on Linux. And if you want to view them, you're going to use ls space hyphen la. Now let's make a directory. So to make a directory, you're going to use mkdir and the directory name. So my directory name would be test folder and press enter. Now if I do ls, I can see test folder is a directory that is created. Say now I want a little more details than this. What I can use is I can use ls space hyphen l. This will give me a little more details about the current folder, the folder inside of it, and the time at which it was created, etc. But now I also want some information about the location in which I am. So what I'll do is I'll type pwd. This command helps me give the location of where I am. This is my base folder and it is home/user, which is me, Vinith. Now say I want to go into the test folder that I created. I don't want to stay at the current folder. I want to go deeper into test folder. So I'll use the command cd space test folder. Now I am inside of test folder. And if I want to go back from test folder to the previous folder, I'll use cd space dot dot. This takes me one step behind in the folder depth. Now say I want to go into cd test folder. I go inside of it. I create another folder mkdir test subfolder, and this one creates a folder inside of my test folder. So if I do ls now, inside of test folder I have got another folder. Let's go inside of test subfolder. If you can see, if there is any spelling mistake, or even if there is no spelling mistake, if I just test, I'll just clear everything, and if I type cd test folder with something like a capital T test subfolder, right? I try to go, it will say no such directory found. The spelling is correct, but the case is not. It has to be exactly same. So now I am into test subfolder and I want to go back to the base folder directly. So I can do that by directly typing cd and nothing else. This takes me directly to the base folder. If I do ls now, you can see I get test folder. Now let's look at some of the creation of file and updation of file commands and viewing of file commands. So to create a blank file, what I'll do is I'll use the command touch and the file name. This is my file name .txt. Okay, I press enter. This creates a blank file. Let's look at it. You can see the blank file. Say I want to create a file, at the same time add some content to it. So I'll use the command cat space arrow space file2.txt and press enter. This gives me some space to write the content. So I say hello world, how are you? press enter, and I do Control Z. Alright, so it has stopped. So now when I do ls, I can see another file with file2.txt. Okay, now if I want to view this file, I can simply use cat space file2.txt, and you can see the content of this file. If you want to update this file, I'll use cat file2 with the double arrow this time dot txt, and it again gives me the editor, and I can add some more things. It's at the end of this file, the cursor is at the end, and I can type I am good, how about you, right, and press enter and press Ctrl Z. Again, it has saved this file. I'll do cat file2.txt, and you can see the content. Okay, I'll clear the screen now. We saw how to create a folder, that is mkdir folder name, right? New folder. Okay, and say if I want to create multiple folders, say I want to create folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. So I'll do mkdir folder 1 space folder 2 space folder 3 and press enter. And now when I do ls, you can see I have got all the folders created. Okay, and say I want to copy the content, copy this particular file name file2.txt. I want to copy this into folder 1. So what I'll do is cp stands for copy file2.txt space folder 1 and press enter. Now if I do ls, I can see file2.txt is there here as well, and if I go into folder 1 and do an ls there, I see another file.txt here. Now I'll go back, and that is how I go back to the previous folder. Say I want to rename the file2.txt here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll use mv. mv is the command used to rename a file or a folder. So I'll rename file2.txt. I want to rename this file to be file1.txt. Press enter. Now if I do ls, I'll see no file2.txt but file1.txt. You can check if it is the same file by doing cat file1.txt. You can see the same content is being printed out. So that is how you copy content. Say I want to move this file1.txt into folder 1. I don't want to copy. We saw how we copy it, but I want to move it. I don't want it here. I want it inside folder 1. So what I'll do is I'll use mv again. Move can also be used as renaming as well as to move a file or a folder from one destination to another. So I'll take file1.txt and move it to folder 1. Press enter. Now if I do ls, file1.txt is not there, but if I go into folder 1 and do ls there, I see file 1 as well as file 2. Similarly, I can move folders also. If I have to move folder 2 inside of folder 1, I'll type it like that, and it's saying that there is no folder 2. That is because I'm inside of folder 1 as of now. So I'll do cd dot dot, go back to the previous folder, do ls, and I can see folder 2 is there. So I'll now move folder 2 into folder 1 and press enter. Now if I do ls, folder 2 is missing here, and if I go into cd folder 1 and do an ls here, I see folder 2 is here, right? Now say I have done all these operations, I want to delete all these files and folder. So what I can do is rm space file1.txt file2.txt. Press enter. If I do ls now, it's gone. There's no files here. That is how you remove a file. But if you want to remove a folder, I'll do rm space hyphen r and then the folder name. So that is how I remove the folder. Now even the folder is gone. I go back to the previous folder. I'll do ls. I see a lot of folders and file there. I'll remove them all by using the same command. But for folders, I'll add an additional hyphen r, and that is all that we need. Folder 3, no such directory. You can see I've made some spelling errors here. Instead of folder, I've used folder. So I'll just clear the screen and fix the spelling. I want folder here, I want folder here, and press enter. I want folder, no sir. So I'll do an ls here to see, okay, everything is removed, all the files are already removed, folder 1 was already removed. So even if an error is there for one folder, right, it's not that all your operations are closed. The rest of the folders which had the correct spelling were deleted in the first round itself. I just had to delete uh, the folder names that I had misspelled. So that's it. That's the basic set of commands for Linux.